Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we're in our basement lair. We've got a table full of old car radios. We got to find out if any of them work or not. Disclaimer off the top, because every time I put up a screwing around with old car radios videos, I get all kinds of people messaging me, asking me if they could send me their radios so I could fix them. And I don't know anything about radios. If they got electronic problems, I have no idea how to troubleshoot them or repair them or where I would even get the parts to do so. All I do is I hook them up, turn them on. If they work, they work. If they don't, I look for something simple and stupid like a broken wire or a blown fuse or, in the case of an 8-track or a cassette player, a bad belt, and I can, cobble my way through that. Otherwise, I have no clue. Anyway, let's get started. First up is this old AM/FM 8-track. It's an in-dash unit. It was missing the faceplate when I got it. It came in a load of auction stuff, like almost all of these did. I have some kind of a generic faceplate I can use with it. This thing says made in Japan. It's probably from the 70s. It's a really simple 8-track player. There's no eject button. There's no track advance. It just, you put it in and it plays through the tracks, and that's that. I'm waiting for track number 3 to finish and see if it automatically changes to track number 4. We'll have to wait and find out. When I first fired this up, the volume knob was really crackly, right? If you get one of these things that crackles when you adjust it, just get some WD-40 and squirt it in that rheostat that's for the volume, and work it back and forth. And once that WD-40 gets worked in, it'll clean up all those connections in there, and the thing will work smooth as glass. And this one does now. At first, I only had one speaker working. Now I've got all 4 of them going. And I'm going to tell you something. This old 70s, I have to talk loud so I don't get nailed for copyright. But you cannot beat this old 70s Japanese electronics. This stuff is the best. The best ever made. You will never, ever find anything as good as this stuff. This thing sounds amazing. Oh, there. Okay, we're at the end of track 3. Let's see if it switches to track 4. That will tell us if this thing is a functioning unit. There it goes. It switched. Perfect. This is awesome. I can't wait to put this in something. I gotta turn it down. Copyright. Screwing around with videos, I get into all kinds of... Or screwing around with radios, pardon me, I get into all kinds of trouble. So you can see I pulled the 8-track out, and it still thinks there's an 8-track in it. And down in there, right there, you see that white thing? That's the... There. Now the radio comes back on. So I'm going to spray some more stuff down in there and keep working that back and forth and see if I can get it freed up. Okay, I got that going pretty good now. The switch is working fine. Now we're going to see if AM works on this thing. That always seems to be a problem with these old radios. Oh, there it is. I don't get the greatest reception here in the basement, but we've got AM working. So that's good. That's fine, boom. There we go.
Feeling like minus
Listen to the sound on this thing.
Cloudy in Toronto with a chance of
unbelievable.
Area, a mix of sun and cloud in Hamilton.
Yes, I'll be putting this in something. What a beautiful little radio. Now all I got to do is give it a good, like a deep clean, and it'll be good to go. Next up is these guys. I've got 1, 2, 3 of them. These are late 70s, early 80s Chrysler factory radios. These came in the downsized rear-wheel drive cars, M-bodies, LeBarons, little things like that, Cordobas, etc. Anyway, This is the exact same radio that I've got in my little 76 step-side truck, and the one that's in it has all kinds of issues. So I'm hoping that possibly I could just replace it with another one exactly the same, if we could find out that one of these three works. If not, we'll go to something else. Judging by this, I'm not holding out a lot of hope for this one. It says, no funk or groove. Well, you got to have funk and groove to have a good radio, right? This one appears to have neither. But anyway, we'll hook up some speakers to it and see what happens. Well, so much for no funk and no groove. Yeah, it works on FM. It works on AM. Huh. Okay, what I got to do now is hook up the other two speakers because I only hooked up two. And we'll go from there. So this one seems to be okay. It could use taking apart and some lubricating. You see that the preset buttons don't bounce back. But that's just a matter of opening it up and lubricating it. Also, what I noticed with this thing, the stereo indicator does not light up. And the backlighting doesn't work. Those are all things that are easy to remedy. So what we're going to do is we're going to unhook this one and just put it aside for now and see what we find with these other two. And if for instance, if this is an LED, we may be able to steal it out of one of these if this one proves to not work, right? Who knows? Let's try the other ones and see what we get. And I've learned to leave myself notes on them after I test them. Now, even though it said, NFG on it and we had it playing, it doesn't mean that possibly there's a problem with the output transistor. And when it warms up, it quits. That was a pretty common problem on these old radios. But for now, what we've seen, it works. Let's try the next one. Well, let's see what happens here. Okay, we're on AM. Yeah. Okay, it's picking stuff up. FM works too. No stereo light. Now, there we go. See, here's the problem that I've got with the one in my truck. The dial won't go all the way to the end. Although, the more I mess with it, the further it seems to go.
It's podcast, and then you have a little bit of the queue with you over your holidays.
All right, so this one works too.
This is Q107.
All right. According to the note on this one, it has no AM, but we'll see. AM works. Yeah, we got AM.
Conditions applied to collecting.
And we got FM. This one's actually nice. Now, the only thing going on with this, as usual, the stereo light doesn't work. And the chrome is coming off the push buttons. But what are you going to do? Beggars can't be choosers. That's a nice one. I think I'll put this one in my truck. All right, that one turned out really nice. I know I'm going to put this in my truck, so I swapped in one of the green LED bulbs that matched the dash lighting in the truck. I replaced the stereo indicator, which is just a mini or micro bulb, a number 73 bulb. So that's all working. And the last thing I did was the chrome was peeling off all the push buttons. So I stole the push buttons out of that one. I swapped them. You can see there it's just the plain white plastic because all the chrome came off them. So that's it. This one's got a clean bill of health. It's ready to go back in my truck. Next up, we've got a Ford AM/FM cassette radio. This would be from the 80s, maybe the early 90s. It's got 2 plugs on the back of it. This one here will be the power plug. It's only got 3 conductors in it. And this one you can see here with all these grounds. These are the speakers. So you've got 1, 2, 3. Your colors are your speaker channels. And then the other 4, pardon me. Orange and the white and the 2 pinks. Those are your speaker outputs. And all the black wires are the grounds. So we'll hook this baby up and see if it's got any life. Well, so far so good with this one. We got FM playing. The backlighting is not working. And let's try the AM. Yeah, there's the Hollies. Gotta watch. Gotta be careful with the old copyright. But okay, yeah, so we got AM. Now we'll stick a cassette in it and see what happens. Yep, I can't turn it up for too long. But you can hear the cassette works perfect. The only real issues I see with this one is that the cassette door doesn't completely close and the backlighting doesn't work. So we'll pop this top cover off and see if we can get at the light bulb for here. That's the first thing we can fix. Oh, and then we'll see if we can do anything about this door. So there's our backlight bulb. It sits down in there in this blue tube. Another number 73 bulb, just like we had in that Chrysler radio. It was burned out, so we've popped the new one in there. We'll get this thing fed. You have to be careful because it goes back under the tuner needle there. But we'll get it in, and then we'll make sure it works. Hard to see in here because the lights are on, but you can see just under the lid there that green glow coming out of there. So our backlighting is back working. So we'll get this closed up and pull the bottom off of it and see if we can get at this door. So the face actually comes off quite easily, and the door is part of the face. And we can see here what the problem is with the cassette door is the faceplate is broken there. Probably someone trying to jam a cassette in caught this little thing here by mistake. So we should be able to pop that back up to where it's supposed to be and maybe put a dab of crazy glue on it, and I think our door will work properly again. And look at that. Works perfectly. And I didn't even put any glue on that. Once I got it jiggled, it like literally snapped back into place. And it seems a-okay. So for now, we're just going to leave it. All right. Get this thing all back together. And there's another one ready to go. Next up is a cool old Citation Underdash 8-track player. It's got one of these round plugs on the back. They're usually easy enough to figure out. These are pretty simple. There's ground, power, and your 2 channels will be the green and gray. So we'll figure out which is which, because we've got 4 conductors, but we seem to have 5 pins in the plug. So hopefully I can slide this heat shrink back and see which wire goes into which cavity. This one plays nice. It switches through all the tracks. The only problem with this one is it could use a belt, and I don't have one that I can put in there. But luckily, look at how easy it is. You just pop the cover off and it's right there. Here's another Underdash 8-track player. It's not as pretty as the last one. It's a Craco, but this one does have a few more features. It's got fast forward, repeat, eject, and tape light. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it's got a light in there. But we'll pop our old Disco 8-track in there and see what happens. Okay, this one does work pretty well. Like it plays. but you can't, the track won't change. I'm not sure if it'll automatically change or not, but it doesn't change with the selector. So we're going to pop the top of it off and see if there's something we can lubricate or otherwise service up to get this thing working. Well, so sad, but this one, it's done. It won't, you can't change the track, and even when it gets to the end of one track, it doesn't automatically advance to the next track. I've been monkeying around with the mechanism down in there, and there's something broken or no longer connected or something, but it just, it won't advance. So we'll put a fork in this one. We'll save the belt from it and move on to the next one. Here's a cute little one. I've already opened it up. It's an automatic radio, an AR. They were kind of big back in the day. There was lots of AR products around. So I think I've got the hot and the ground hooked up. We'll pop the 8-track in and see if it turns, and then we'll go from there. Well, we've got it running. Let's see if we can get some speakers hooked up to it. This little guy works great. And the finish on it is even pretty good. The chrome is nice. The only thing I can find wrong with this one is the indicator light for track 4 doesn't work. So we'll pop the face of it off and see what kind of bulb it has in it. Maybe it's something we can fix. Well, despite that thing being, well, no longer with us, it managed to cough up the little mini light bulb we need to fix this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and get that spliced in there, and we'll see if it works. Here we go. We got a light for number 4. Now, this light seems to be brighter than my other 3, but what do you want? It's a light. I'm going to close this thing back up, and then we've got something very interesting to try. This is intriguing. 8-track hi-fi car stereo. It's in a box. I guess I got this at an auction or something. I don't know. Let's pull it out and see what it is. I can't remember anything about this. It's been sitting down here for so long. Look at that, would you? It's got the book. Let's see what's in here. Continental. We've got it upside down, I think. Hang on. There's the mounting brackets. Well, we got to see if this thing works. So it plays nice. Changes. And despite being brand new, oh, the light for number 3 does work. It didn't work a second ago. So we're good. That's awesome. A brand new Underdash 8-track player. That's cool. Okay, let's try something even cooler. This thing is a Spark-O-Matic cassette adapter. So what this does, theoretically, it lets you play cassette tapes in your 8-track player. Well, let's try it out. This thing is also brand new from the 70s or the 80s, I guess. Well, we'll try it. Oh, there's our cassette in there. Let's shove it in and see what happens. Well, it's in there. I could see it's turning, but no sound comes out. They say have it on selector 2, which I've got it. I've tried it on all the others, and nothing happened. For a brief second, some music came out of it, and then it went away. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I guess that's a fail. The actual 8-track still plays, so we're good there. We got this AM radio from a 68 Ford. Pretty easy to test this. It's just a couple of wires and
certainly by no stretch of the
And
disappointment.
it's working. So now that we know this radio works, we can test this. This is an FM converter. It's an oldie, and you used to put these, you hang it under your dash, and you plumb it through the antenna on your AM radio, and you could listen to FM. So we're going to see if this thing works. Okay, you can see there, in there, behind the dial, it says, under 108, it says AM. We'll switch it to FM, and you can see the tuner and the face light up.
For my mom, Eve Saint Laurent for my dad, and
So there it is. It took a minute to figure out where to tune it. The small ones that I used to get, you tune them around 1400 on AM to get the FM to come in. This one, it's here, right around 890 or 900. And it works good. It even sounds good.
online at Sephora.ca.
Upgrade to iPhone 16 at
Not bad, eh?
and experience Apple Intelligence.
So we got another thing that works. This is an old AM FM cassette. Unfortunately, it came in a box of junk and there's no knobs or faceplate with it. And it's too bad because it works. The AM comes in okay. You know? Or FM, pardon me. We're listening to FM now. The tape deck works. It's auto reverse. And it's one of these odd ones where the tape goes in sideways. But it plays. And you can reverse it. If there was any hope for this thing and I thought I would be able to use it, I'd have to find a faceplate and some knobs. And then I would open it up and WD-40 this volume pot and get that crackle out of there. That's what I was telling you about earlier when it goes crackle when you... That. You can fix that by just hosing WD-40 into that pot. And it will eventually work its way in. Now we got this nice looking old Sony. So far I've got ground and power hooked up, and we'll see if anything happens here. Okay, we've got the tuner on. And there we are. I guess we're on FM. You can see the stereo light going on and off. Okay, that's something. So now let's see if we can get some speakers hooked to this thing. And see if it makes any noise. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we got sound. See if the AM works. Yep, no problem. AM works. Okay, let's see if we can get the other two speakers hooked up. A lot of the wires are kind of unknown. All right, we got all four speakers lit up. Now I'm going to pop a tape in it and see what happens. This one's got some issues with the tape deck. The radio works great, but the tape deck won't auto-reverse when it gets to the end of the tape. And sometimes the head, it gets stuck in between and it plays both sides of the tape at once. One time it ate the tape. I'm going to put a fork in this one. Sad, but that's how it goes sometimes. Well, let's check this one. This is an old Royce AM/FM CB from back in the day. Doesn't seem to do much. Okay, so we've got, what is this? FM button is out. So we got FM.
That she's been told. How does she still be a good ally?
All right. Well, it's got
the crux of
FM.
being a good ally is
AM, not so much, but yeah, AM is dead on it. And the CB part of it, unfortunately, when I got this thing,
Your list. Enjoy complimentary Dior beauty consultation.
it came with the wrong antenna. And it's an oddball. Unfortunately, I don't even, or not the wrong antenna. It came with the wrong microphone. The wrong mic for the CB. And unfortunately, you can see the CB part lights up. There's your channel indicator. But without a microphone, it's pretty much useless. So, and I searched and searched and searched. This plug is an oddball. And I've never been able to come up with one. So, we'll probably just send this one down the road too. Here we've got another new, or at least allegedly new one that we got at the auction or somewhere along the line. Let's pull it out of here and see what it is. This here's another sideways tape one, but at least it's got all its knobs. It's got the faceplate, so that's something. So let's see if it actually does anything. AM is out, FM is in, so that's AM. Let's see if we get anything on AM. Yeah, there we go. AM is there. FM, yeah. Look at that, the stereo light even works. Huh. Well, now the real test. Let's pop the tape in. Completely dead. Now, sometimes when these things have been sitting, you got to pop the tape in and out of them a couple of times to get it. Doesn't auto reverse either, because it's not playing. Well, I've gone about as far into this thing as my meager talents will allow me to. Trying to find, there's a little switch somewhere that when the tape is inserted, it turns the motor on. But I cannot find the little switch, and unfortunately, this is one of those units where it's just, I would have to desolder a whole bunch of stuff to get the deck out, and it's just not worth it for one of these crap 2-channel department store radios. So, well, unfortunately, even though it looks new, I'm pretty sure it was in a car already and failed and came back out, and that's why it ended up where it ended up. So, we'll be putting a fork in this one too. Now we got this thing. Tisonic TS740. Who knows where I even got this? Oh, I could tell by that. Oh, pardon me, it's been a long day. I got it at the auction. Probably means it's a piece of junk. I like this. made for USA, made in China. So this one here is a detachable face that has been turned into an unattachable face. You can see here they've busted that all up on both sides as a result of overzealous installers, removers, or cheap Chinese plastic. Take your pick. So I'm gonna power it up and see if it actually works. And if it works, maybe we could try and find some way of getting this attached back on. But, you know, it's not worth putting a whole bunch of effort into. Well, I got the radio playing. The radio plays. It doesn't even sound too bad. It's only 2-channel output, but what are you going to do? So now let's try the tape. Unbelievable. This stupid faceplate. Yeah, I think this is a terrible piece of junk. So we got us another tape deck that won't run. And well, this thing is just a busted up piece of junk. So what are you going to do? It goes in the bin too. Yes, I bought all these things at the auction. Like I get them for $2. It provides content. I've gotten some pretty decent radios at the auction over the years, but I have to stop buying these department store ones because they're junk when they're new, right? And they've been sitting around and who knows what's happened to them. And they're even more junk now. This cute little guy, it's an underdash accessory radio, but it's 6 volt and I haven't got a 6 volt battery down here right now. I don't want to risk messing around with it. So for now, it can just stay there. What we are going to test now is the one I've been waiting to test, this Pioneer. I really, really hope this thing works. We're going to test just the head unit for now because I found this nasty looking damage on the cord going to the amp. That's probably not good. But we can at least test this. So we'll get it hooked up and see how she sounds. And unfortunately, this one's junk. It won't turn on. No crackling from the speakers. Nothing. It's dead. I did try hooking the amp back up in case it wasn't able to drive the speakers direct, but it's just as dead. So I guess we'll put a fork in that one too. I've had a pretty bad run of them here the last few, haven't I? Oh well, we got a few that worked anyway. Well, that'll do it for that one. Too bad so many of them were no good. Especially that Pioneer. I was really hoping that'd be good. Those old Pioneer decks are so good. The FM Super Tuners, I don't know if that one had a Super Tuner in it. It didn't say so on it. But they were usually pretty good units. Anyway, what are you going to do? It is what it is. And I don't think I'll be buying any more crappy, cheap radios at the auction, even for $2, because every single one of them was a piece of junk. Unbelievable. What are you going to do? So, all I've got left to do, I did manage to go on Amazon. I've got 2 8-track players that need belts. And I got a thing of 50 8-track belts, the wider ones. 50 assorted sizes for $8. Amazon Prime. It's coming Monday. Oh, that's pretty good. And I'm not going to bother you showing you that. This will be edited and posted long before that. Anyway, it was fun. What the heck? I'd like to thank you, as always, for tuning into the Claremont Classic Garage. Hope you'll come back and see us again. And until then, I'm Kevin saying so long for now.